Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Talk Tissue. Today, we're very excited to talk to Oren Gruber, who is the CEO president of Ecologix Environmental Systems in Roswell, Georgia. Oren, thanks so much for joining us today. How are you?
Doing well. Thank you for inviting me, Brian.
No problem. Ecologix is one of our newest sponsors in a marketing campaign for Tissue Online. And I've known Oren for several years, and we have talked back and forth about. I've expressed to him how important his company could be in for the tissue industry and the market as a whole. Ecologix has been in business for some time, and Oren, why don't you maybe get into it a little bit? How tell us about Ecologix, a little bit about the history and what you've been up to, guys. What you've been up to for the past little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so Ecologix was founded back in 2002. We're based just outside of Atlanta, Georgia. We were really focused on the industrial and water treatment markets, industrial wastewater treatment. And we are focused with sort of a design and fabrication tilt. So we design our own systems, we fabricate them, we also act as a system integrator where we build out and construct complete wastewater treatment solutions. So we do seamless integrations of those. And over the years, we've touched probably every facet of industrial wastewater, all the major industries out there, food processors, automotive, oil and gas, mining, tissue, pulp and paper, to name a few.
Yeah, and most recently, we've discussed that you've gotten into a little bit more in the pulp and paper scope. And those of us, those of our audience watching, there's a lot of water consumption in making toilet paper, tissue, towel,
Yeah.
which I'm sure you know about as well. What are one or two products that our audience should know about specifically in the tissue realm that would help them? There's issues with odors, there's issues with leakage, waste, cleaning the water. What are
Yeah.
some ways that you can help?
Yeah, definitely. So the pulp and paper and tissue industries are big water users. Most of the plants are using hundreds of thousands and millions of gallons a day. And that water ends up being pretty contaminated by the time it comes out. So definitely you need modern high processing capability systems, and those encompass everything from clarifiers to dissolved air flotation systems, biological treatment systems, membrane systems. We design and fabricate all of those, and we have certain products on the biological side and on the clarification side that are more advanced and more modern, and can really add a nice cutting edge to the capabilities and the processes, the volumes that are being handled by these pulp and paper plants. So yeah, it's definitely it's something that we can design and build, and that we're getting more and more into.
Mhm. In your experience, from what the few experiences you've had in the pulp and paper space, the machinery that is associated with wastewater treatment, is most of this machinery, I don't know if the right word is ancient or outdated? How often does these machines need to be replaced or inspected or maintained?
Yeah, it's kind of funny because a lot of these plants have been around for decades.
Yeah.
Some of them 50 plus years, and a lot of them are using the original equipment that went in with those plants, strangely enough. And a lot of them are using really older technologies like lagoon biological systems,
Yeah.
traveling bridge clarifiers, which those can be useful and they have their place, but there are much more advanced wastewater treatment systems today. Certainly on the biological treatment side, there are all kinds of advancements that have been made in terms of systems that are called moving bed bioreactors, integrated fixed film activated sludge systems, membrane bioreactors. So without diving too far into the weeds on that, they really do help um, increase the processing capability of a system. We're able to come in and sort of retrofit existing systems, and you know, we're able to make those systems a lot more, um, give them a lot more processing capability than what they had before.
Sure.
We've done it now on a couple of different systems for different industries, including pulp and paper.
Hmm.
So yeah, I mean these are things that most plants need in order to be able to meet these discharge limits that are getting tighter and tighter across the
Sure.
country.
Yeah, and as I travel visiting mill to mill across the country, the number one issue that I see the most is the retention of good people at these places that have that tribal knowledge to be able to, help long term with some of these solutions. What happens at times is there's a revolving door with people that know exactly what you talked about. And then
Yeah.
there's an uptime of training somebody new to come in fresh. Most of the times they have to pull from another mill or a competitor, and they don't know the system, and it takes them a long time to ramp up. And they really rely on the vendor supplier relationship to come in as the person to kind of help them along the way and ramp up as fast as possible. Is Ecologix, I mean, how is that something that you would offer partner relationship to come in and do
Yeah,
that?
absolutely. I mean, and we've consulted with a lot of these different plants around the country as well. I mean, you definitely have to have that capability, and it's something that we've developed over the decades
Sure.
that have been around. A lot of times, as you said, you go to these plants and you find that the people working there don't really even understand what they have,
Mhm.
and so you kind of have to you got to walk through it with them and kind of figure out, what do they currently have, what is usable with what they have, what do they need to scrap, what do they need to upgrade, and yeah, it can be a process, and they're not unique in that sense. I mean, as these plants age, you have people that have worked there for decades that just, they retire and or they move on, and a lot of times they don't. The people that are left
Yeah.
scrambling to understand what they have and how to make it work.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we can certainly walk in and help with the understanding of what they have and kind of how to retrofit it to make it work for them.
Yeah, I think retrofit is the key word. I mean, these places, these mills are currently, I mean, are always have some form of construction or going on at the mill. And
Mhm.
anytime you have to demolish something and start fresh, I mean, that's an astronomical cost at times and downtime, you know. And I mean, the next thing I wanted to talk about was the environmental play. Now more than ever, there's an environmental factor that a lot of these companies love to talk about, and they love to market as well, that their company is being as efficient as possible with their water. Um, any comments on the environmental aspect to this?
Yeah, it is a big it's a big thing in uh, the industrial space now. Everybody wants to be able to take the wastewater that they've used in creating the product that they've made,
Yeah.
be able to clean it to the point where they can begin to reuse that. And so we've been instrumental with a lot of our clients in helping them do that. You can recycle at least a portion of it. You don't have to go to complete zero liquid discharge, but you can treat it well enough to the point where you can take that and reuse that in the process in certain
Mhm.
ways, or at least in the cleaning of the facility or through cooling towers and things like that. So yeah, we have all the different pieces of technology that are needed to sort of integrate a complete solution for any number of clients that would want to do that.
Oh, awesome. Okay. I understand you're currently working on a project in the pulp and paper space. We don't want to mention the client specifically, but can you tell us what problem they came to you with? How are you solving it? How's it going?
Yeah, yeah. So this is a client in the pulp and paper space. They are in the Midwest, but it's one of those typical stories of how a plant has existed in this space for many decades, and the town kind of grew right into them, right up to their border, right? And as they explained it to us, they had been discharging wastewater that was out of spec almost from the beginning of the plant's
Wow.
existence. So really just paying surcharges and fines to the city forever. And then as they've sort of grown and the city's grown, then now they have neighbors and they have businesses and neighborhoods around them that have been complaining about the bad smells coming from their existing wastewater treatment plant because it's never really worked for them. So they kind of had two strikes against them at that point, right? They were discharging over the permit, and they had complaining neighbors. So they came to us as one of the companies they approached, and we went through a competitive bid. We won that, and basically went back into their existing system and looked it over and saw, what do they have that can be reused? A lot of their tanks were still in good condition, and we saw, we can take the existing SBR biological system that they had, and we retrofitted that to be a modern MBBR system. So basically increased the capability of their biological system within the same footprint that they had.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, basically we redid the aeration grid within those tanks, provided them a new sludge dewatering system, and kind of helped on the equalization side, and all the kind of things that you would need to basically modernize and upgrade a biological system. To now where they've just started up the MBBR system, still actually trying to finish off the some of the surrounding pieces of equipment, but even firing up the biological portion of the system, they're now well within spec.
Wow.
No more complaints of odors. Probably for the first time in their existence, they're now discharging within their permit and well below it. So we're excited for that success for them, and it's been a very successful project. We're happy for them.
Wow. And does that eliminate their surcharges and fines as well because they're within spec?
Yeah, absolutely.
So savings there as
And in
well.
fact, this plant actually wanted to reuse a portion of that water in their production process.
Yeah.
And so we're giving them that capability now. So it's sort of helping on all sides of the business case.
Awesome. What a fantastic case study. I mean, you guys are right in the thick of it right now. So, I mean, for the audience watching right now, if you have a paper machine, everyone has wastewater they have to treat at their facilities. A lot of these mills are located in very rural areas that have their own systems in place. So it's constantly a need. And if you're looking for a partner, I can think of no better partner than Oren at Ecologix. If you guys are needing to get a hold of someone to assist you and to mentor you in this space, feel free to reach out to Oren. Oren, what is your website?
Yeah, so they can reach us at ecologixsystems.com. You can see a banner of it in the background, Ecologix Max. Or they can call into our office lines, 888-326-2020.
Great. And Oren is active on LinkedIn, and there's also an Ecologix page on LinkedIn as well. So feel free to follow that. And every month we will promote Ecologix with a press release as well on their latest findings and doings in the industry. So, Oren, thank you so much. It was very informative. I encourage all of those watching to follow Ecologix on LinkedIn and stay up to date with what they're doing. Thank you,
Great.
Oren.
Thanks a lot, Brian.
Yeah.